Hi, welcome to the bathtub. This is the old masturbator, Scott Bradfield, and the old masturbator's parakeet, Dodo the parakeet. And we're filming a couple of these on Thanksgiving, and so I'm kind of going to give Dodo more leeway than I normally would because she's been very, very obstreperous lately, especially when I'm trying to videotape these things. It seems to bring out the worst in her. So happy Thanksgiving to those of you who are enjoying Thanksgiving, and those of you who aren't happy, not a Thanksgiving, just have a good day. And we've got a few things we want to talk about. This is still, we're doing the non-carb. This is the non-carb edition until I finish cooking. When it's going to be the carb edition because I'm going to be eating a lot of potatoes tonight. I like potatoes, and I haven't had many potatoes since I've been on this low carb diet. But it's fresh spring mountain water and ice, all natural, no pixels, no tech, and that's just the way we do it now. This episode is called. It's one of our theme shows we haven't done in a long time. We brought it back out of the closet. It's called "How Can You Take Something That Big into the Bathtub?" How can you take something that big into the bathtub? You have to imagine what could possibly be that big that we took into the bathtub with us, and enough double entendre, that's my French. We're bringing in these lovely Prince Valiant editions from Fantagraphics. I started reading these a while back. You know, we've talked about Fantagraphics. We're big fans of what they do with the history and preserving these great old comic strips that we used to which I didn't used to read. My father used to read Prince Valiant, but I did read the Snoopy and the Peanuts books for years, and they've been bringing out. They brought the complete Peanuts, every single Peanuts strip that was ever conceived or created by Charles Schulz, and there's a beautiful set of books that we bought these as they were coming out. And they're also doing the Uncle Scrooge books. I've also been reading these in the bathtub. To be fair, I don't really take Prince Valiant into the bathtub. The only other place where I do really totally recreational reading is usually in the middle of the night. Us old guys have to get to pee. I hate to tell you. I hate to tell you young guys this, but when you get older, you get up in the middle of the night every night to go pee. And I can't go back to sleep. I read some of these Prince Valiant strips. I read the first volume when it came out about 10 or 12 years ago. So Fantagraphics has been doing this project for quite a long time. I think they do one or two a year, maybe two a year. And I'll show you what Dodo's doing. There she is. I gave her a little food. I thought it might shut her up. Nothing shuts Dodo up. Anyway, I read the first volume when it came out, and this was about 10 years ago. I was still in London, 9 or 10 years ago, and I started buying these, and I liked it. It didn't kind of knock me out like some stuff does. I'd heard my dad. One of the few comic books my dad always remembered loving was the old Prince Valiant strips. He kind of grew up with these, and they would come out every Sunday. And so it always stuck in my mind. When I was a kid, they were in the comic pages. I think they may still be running them. I think they may have descendants, other people drawing and writing them now. I'm not sure. But my dad was interested in art when he was young, and he thought this guy was a great artist. So it always stuck in my mind. I've seen his work, and I never quite got into this stuff. There's something kind of strange about the way he tells the stories, which takes a little while getting used to. There's like almost no dialogue. You'll see this. If you've ever looked at the strips, there'll be a little kind of caption or a bit of exposition on each page, which is discreetly put somewhere so it doesn't get in the way of the art. Each panel is quite beautiful and very expository. So there's very little dialogue. There's not a lot of humor. There's some humor, and they're very kind of striking panels. He was, I guess, don't quote me on any data because I never check any of this stuff, but he started off I think he was self-taught. He was Canadian. He was sort of an outdoorsy sort of guy, unlike a lot of us who read him. And he started off drawing, I think, women's underwear for lingerie magazines and for sales catalogs. And eventually he got a job drawing the Tarzan strip for some syndicated newspapers. And they were a very big hit. And he kind of conceived, from what I understood and what I remember from reading the introductions to these volumes, he decided Prince Valiant was what he wanted to do, was going to be his kind of project. And he started off with high ambitions for it. And it's a very ambitious and beautiful a series of comics. So anyway, I read the first volume, and I've been buying the others. I bought many of the other ones, and kind of was not, there's something about the expository nature of the writing that kind of put me off for a little while. And then the first volume was good, but it didn't really knock me out. But when I got into the second volume a few months ago, just look at that cover. That's one of the panels. It's during the this one the Huns are attacking this castle that Prince Valiant tries to help defend. Each panel is incredible, and the story really gets interesting. So he joins the Knights of the Round Table, and Sir Gawain's his buddy, and he goes traveling around doing adventures and meeting babes. And here's one where he's fighting. Who's he fighting? He's fighting a lot of Vikings. Are these Vikings? Look at the sea. Look at this. Look at some of that. The sea battles and the fire. I mean, each panel is just gorgeous, and the use of light and the color. What is it? 4 colors they have in the comics. He uses it to the max. There's so many ones, and this volume, the story really starts to get quite interesting and quite exciting, and quite violent. There's one where the Huns sack this town, and basically all the women, these beautiful women, queens and everything, go upstairs and kill themselves because these people are going to come raid and kill everybody. And the Huns come and kill everybody except Prince Valiant. I said that's a cheater. Reader. Anyway, look at this. And look at some of this. This is where he meets. Also, he starts to meet some wizards in this one. Anyway, I don't want to try to show you. You can't really do justice to this on my crummy camera. Here's the original. Here's the actual panel for that's used in the cover. So you see, these would come, one page of the comic book page would be just the Prince Valiant strip, and he would just make use of each page in a different way. He was quite imaginative about the way he laid out his panels in the story. So anyway, I don't want to show you too many more of these, but all the time I was going through it, he tells stories in little funny ways too. He starts to find little ways of telling about, this is a kind of a comic adventure section where a bunch of different people are out trying to attack different people in the square. I forget exactly. And he sets up all the different characters and where they're going, and then the altercation that ensues. So I read Volume 2 and I read Volume 3 in the past few months. This is quite an interesting one. This is where he goes to Africa and starts seeing all these animals like elephants and so forth, which are strange. He travels a lot by sea. I believe Karl Barks, the great Karl Barks, who some artists have told me that was one of the greatest drawers of seascapes. I don't know, and even in those little kind of cartoons, he admired Hal Foster's use of his depictions of the oceans and sea and waves. There's a wizard he deals with, and the wizard's wife and him the wizard's wife wants to make her weird old husband jealous, and she does it with Prince Valiant. He does all sorts of magic and so forth. Anyway, so you'll go into, there'll be passages of magic, adventure, traveling around the world, geography. There's a lot of seascapes, and he travels by sea. The stories are surprising. I mean, sometimes he's often tortured. I think he's been caught and tortured 2 or 3 times in these 3 volumes. And at one point, one of the people who turns him into a slave becomes his friend, and you kind of are surprised as things go along. Anyway, I thought I'm really enjoying them. I'm going to get back into them now and keep reading them. They definitely, if you get them, you sort of need to read the first volume. They read good in sequence, but I would really wait till Volume 2 before it really catches your eye. And again, we're big fans of Fantagraphics, so's Dodo. So Dodo likes Wood. Her favorite character is Woodstock, of course, and the Uncle Scrooge books, which I delightfully reading my way through. Okay, happy Thanksgiving. We're going to do another one of these really quickly. Oh, and the other thing is, in the holiday season, we're moving up to our exciting Christmas Bathtacular. I know a lot of the kids and grandmas out there have trouble. They're waking up in the middle of the night saying, "Is it time for the Christmas Bathtacular yet?" And they have to go back to bed disappointed. We're going to have it very soon, but until then, don't forget, we have our own Black Friday deal here, the Bathtub. Our free membership in the International Bathing Alliance, which requires you to send me your name and your location so I can put them on a map, It's free. On Black Friday, it's twice as free as it was before. Twice as free. That means it'll cost you twice as free amount of money. Don't eat tissue paper. Oh my God! And you'll be able. It'll entitle you. It will send you a JPEG of a what is it? It's a certificate or something. And this is our buddy B.K. Smith did this lovely picture. We never tire of showing it or hanging it on a wall. We can send you a certificate with that on it, and you can give copies to your friends, your grandparents. You can tell them how expensive it was, and you lie. You tell them it cost you a lot of money to get them the certificate. And it entitles you to read books in any bathtub in the known universe. We don't cover the unknown universe. I've warned you of this before. People complain. You don't get your money back. Nothing. You get all over the known universe. You can read books in the bathtub. And if someone gives you trouble, you come to the old master bather. I'll sort them out. Okay? Happy bathing. We'll do one more of these. Have a great turkey day. This is Dodo's favorite day because she likes to. It's a good day to know she's not a turkey. That's how she looks at Thanksgiving. All right. Bye.